She tried to return her meal until I realized she was a star widow with nothing left. I had just finished a 12-hour shift at the Port Helion freight docks when I wandered into Marlowe's Diner, the kind of place that always smelled faintly of recycled oil and artificial cinnamon. It wasn't glamorous, but it served hot food, and that was enough. The rain outside, thin, needle-like droplets from the station's malfunctioning moisture regulators, beat against the windows in jittery rhythms. The diner wasn't busy. A couple of asteroid miners in rust-orange gear sat in the back, muttering about quotas. A pair of synth technicians argued over a broken limb actuator. And at the front counter stood the server bot, a chrome cylinder wearing an apron for no logical reason except to comfort humans. But it wasn't any of them who caught my attention. She did. She stood near the counter, clutching a tray. A tall, thin woman alien, but not like the typical travelers who passed through Port Helion. Her skin was a soft violet, almost translucent in the fluorescent light, and faint shimmering spots formed a line from her temples down to the base of her neck. She wore a cloak that had clearly once been expensive, embroidered with threads that glowed faintly, but the fabric was frayed, torn in places, and stained as though it had survived both battles and storms. Her posture was perfect, regal even, but her hands trembled as she held the tray. I watched her step toward the counter. Her voice, soft but resonant, carried through the quiet diner. "I must return this meal." The server bot blinked its synthetic eyes. "Return? Reason? Malfunction? Poor quality? Incorrect order?" "No," she swallowed tightly. "I cannot pay." The audible edge of embarrassment in her tone twisted something inside my chest. The bot word. "Return accepted. However, this will be recorded as a negative credit." Her breath hitched. Negative credit on Port Helion was dangerous. The station had no tolerance for debt. Even one small infraction could have her marched to the finance officers, interrogated, or, worst case, placed in indentured labor to compensate for owed fees. She knew it. Everyone knew it. And still, she tried to return the meal. I stepped forward before I even realized I was moving. "Add it to my tab," I said, sliding between her and the bot. "Whatever it costs." The alien woman blinked at me, huge, luminous eyes reflecting light like polished amethyst. "Human, you should not do that." "It's just a meal," I said. "You're hungry." "It is not just a meal." Her voice held a quiet strain, one that sounded like grief rather than pride. "Nothing is simple anymore," the bot chirped. "Payment received from registered worker ID, Lyle Carver. Transaction complete." She looked at me, stunned as though I had intervened in something sacred. "I didn't mean to overhear," I said gently. "But nobody should go hungry on this station." She hesitated, her fingers tightening on the tray. "You do not understand what you have done." "Actually, I think I do." I gestured toward a booth. "Sit with me, please." Her throat bobbed. Then she nodded once, carefully, as though the decision might break her. We Saturday. And only then did I realize how thin she was, skin taut over bones, the faint glow along her markings dull as if dimmed by exhaustion. She ate slowly, almost ceremonially, as though food was something rare and precious. When she finally spoke, her voice was barely above a whisper. "I am called Nyria." "I'm Lyle," I said. "Dockman. Freight hauler." "Nothing impressive." Her eyes softened. "Impressive is not something I seek." I waited. She seemed to wrestle with herself, deciding how much to reveal. "You asked why returning a meal was complicated," she said quietly. "It is because I cannot afford even the smallest debt. I have fled too much already." "Fled?" I asked. She nodded, lifting a trembling hand to the faint glowing patches on her neck. "These markings, they are the seals of the Austraren dynasty." I blinked. I wasn't great with alien politics, but even I knew the Ustraren were a powerful star kingdom from the outer fringe, wealthy, proud, and fiercely territorial. My people were royalty, she said. Or, they were. Her breath shuddered. The Star Kingdom fell, she whispered. My husband was among the casualties. Our home burned. Our fleets were scattered. Those of us who survived became refugees in our own galaxy. Widow. Everything about her, from the sharp sorrow in her eyes to the tired, panicked posture, made sudden sense. I'm sorry, I said quietly. Truly. You cannot imagine the weight. She pressed a hand to her heart. A star widow carries not only grief but obligation. Enemies pursue her for what she once represented. Debt collectors for the dynasty's lost credits. Hunters for the bounties placed on surviving nobles. And others seek her merely for claiming the right to control whatever remnants of power remain. Her voice cracked. And I have nothing left. Nothing but what I carry on my back. I didn't know what to say to that. Words felt small and useless. So I simply asked, do you have anywhere safe to stay? She hesitated. Then, quietly, nowhere. I have wandered from station to station. Always chased, always hungry. I thought Port Helion might be overlooked enough for a few days of peace. But I cannot even afford food. She looked down at the tray, shame racking her posture. I was prepared to walk away with nothing. To pretend the hunger did not gnaw at me. And now? I asked. She looked at me with shining, hopeful eyes that immediately broke my heart. Now. I do not know what to think of your kindness. Humans are unpredictable. I laughed softly. I'll take that as a compliment. Then the diner door slid open with a harsh, pneumatic hiss. Two armored figures entered, tall, broad-shouldered, wearing matte black tactical suits with scanning visors. Not station security. Bounty hunters. I knew it immediately. And from the way Nyria stiffened, so did she. Her hand trembled beneath the table. No. Not here. Stay calm, I whispered. Maybe they're not looking for you. But even before I finished, one of them lifted a holo-tablet. A projection flickered. Nyria's face, her younger, healthier face, appeared above it. My gut clenched. Target confirmed, the taller hunter said, scanning the diner. Customers froze. The server bot powered down defensively. Nyria's eyes darted to the exit, panic rising. They will not take me alive, she whispered. I have run too far for that. You're not running, I said firmly. Not this time. And what would you have me do? She asked. Fight. I have no weapons. No allies. No kingdom to call upon. You have me, I said. Her gaze snapped toward me, startled. The hunters approached our booth. Don't move, the taller one ordered. By decree of the Ark Consortium, you are to be taken into custody for outstanding royal debts and evasion of interstellar orders. Debts? I hissed. Her planet literally burned. Not our concern, the hunter said casually. She's worth more alive than dead, but dead is fine too. Nyria's breath fractured. This wasn't a capture, it was an execution waiting to happen. I stood. Hold on. She hasn't done anything wrong. The shorter hunter's visor tilted toward me. You involved yourself with her. That means you're part of this now. My throat tightened. I hadn't expected that. Nyria reached for me under the table, her cold fingers curling around my wrist. You should not die for me, she whispered. I'm not going to.